I'm Brian Christner, and this is The Byte, a bite-sized podcast about containers, cloud, and tech.
Another beautiful morning on The Byte. Welcome back. In this episode, we're going to talk about GitLab. GitLab, for you that don't know, is also a GitHub repository or a Git repository similar to GitHub. However, it offers quite a lot more. And if you're in the business segment or you're looking for a tool that covers almost everything, GitLab would be where we should start. What's interesting I find about GitLab is it's an open source company first. Obviously, many companies claim this, but GitLab actually goes through with this. And they've actually gone through and open source their benefits. So you can go online, see everything about the company, about the benefits. You can see the compensation calculator, exactly how the compensation is calculated around the world. Also, which is really, really cool, which I find is they open source their infrastructure. So their Grafana dashboards are open for everyone to view. So you can see exactly how many instances are running, what processes, and I actually use it quite often for like a template to build my Grafana dashboards because they've made some really interesting dashboards. Well, about GitLab itself, it does everything. So obviously it is a GitHub repository, so you can store your code there, but you can also manage it. So it has a wiki, it has, Kanban boards, it does issue tracking, but it really expands us out. So for example, it also has a container registry built in as default. So if you're building containers, which I am quite often, you can store your containers directly within GitLab. Very handy. Additionally, you can have CI/CD built directly into the tool. So it comes with GitLab. You get a certain number of hours free per month to run your CI/CD pipeline. However, if you bring your own runner, so this is like a separate virtual machine or instance that can execute these CI/CD tasks, then you have unlimited building power. Now, since this is incorporated directly inside of GitLab, you only have to make like a GitLab YAML file, and it automatically senses that, hey, this is a new file, and it can start building accordingly. And building these pipelines is very simple. They have templates already made, so you just do, I want to do a CI/CD pipeline, you choose exactly which format. I'll go through quickly and just look at one of my dashboards here. And you can see right off the bat that, hey, I can build this pipeline and it's a template that's already built up. So it has some sort of testing in, it has, building an image and also pushing it back to a registry, for example. It's very intuitive and easy to use. Now, if you want to get really on the cutting edge of GitLab, they have this thing called Auto DevOps. Auto DevOps is like the end-to-end solution for your pipeline. And I'm just reading off the list of what Auto DevOps accomplishes. So it does auto build, auto test, auto code quality. It does static application security testing. So it does security of your actually code base, dependency scanning, licensing management, container scanning, reviewing apps. It does dynamic application security testing, auto deploy, browser performance testing, and the final step is auto monitoring. Now that's Auto DevOps. Basically, it's putting me out of a job. However, to set this all up is quite a task because, it doesn't come out of the box like this. You need to configure it. And you also need to configure to a Kubernetes cluster to actually consume this service. But even if you don't have Kubernetes, you can get through probably the first 6 steps quite easily and use this as Auto DevOps within your pipeline. We use this quite often with customer projects and different projects. We use it also internally, so we quite like it. And we're using the free tier. And the free tier obviously doesn't cost anything. You get 2,000 hours a month of CI/CD build times. But what's more interesting here that I find is you get unlimited private projects and collaborators. Unlike on GitHub and the different Git repositories, usually the private repositories cost. In GitLab, they're free. Like I said, we use it. We're quite happy with it. I'll drop some links into the show notes so you can take a look around. But if you want a tool, a single tool that does everything, GitLab is where you should really look at. I mean, it doesn't do everything well, but it has everything if you consider it that way. If you're a small team, I would definitely recommend this tool. That's all for this episode. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Byte. You can find the show notes at thebyte.io and follow me on Twitter at IDoMyOwnTricks.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.